Viktor Frankl believed dying could be one of the most meaningful acts a human being ever performs. Not because dying is good. Not because suffering is to be sought. Because in the moment when every external freedom has been confiscated, even the freedom to keep living, what remains is the freedom to choose the stance from which one meets the end. That stance, Frankl said, is the last meaning a life can offer. He had seen this in Auschwitz, where dying was constant and where the manner of dying varied. Some prisoners died screaming. Some died begging. Some died numb. And some, Frankl saw them, died with a strange composure that defied every plausible explanation. He saw a man embrace another man on the way to the gas chamber, whispering a final blessing. He saw a woman who had been a dancer in her former life walk to her death with the bearing of someone entering a stage. He saw old men murmur prayers their grandfathers had taught them. These were not denials of the horror. They were responses to it. Frankl thought this composure was not given by religious belief alone. He saw it in believers and unbelievers, in the educated and the uneducated, in men and in women. The variable was something else. The variable was whether the dying person had located, before the moment arrived, an inner stance from which to meet what was coming. Those who had something to die for, a meaning, a relationship, a faith, a witness they wanted to give, died better. Those who had nothing died worse. This was a clinical observation, not a moral one. Frankl was not judging the men who died screaming. He was identifying what had made the difference for those who did not. The difference was meaning. Even in the last minute. Even on the way. After the war, he became one of the early advocates for what we would now call palliative psychology. He insisted that dying patients be treated as patients still, not as bodies whose treatment had ended, but as persons in the most existentially intense moment of their lives. The physician's job, he said, did not stop when cure became impossible. It transformed. The physician now had to help the patient locate the meaning of their dying. This was controversial. Many doctors thought the question of meaning was outside their expertise. Frankl insisted it was inside their responsibility. The dying patient is doing the most important work of their life. The physician who walks away from them at that point has abandoned them at the moment they are most alone. Even if there is no cure, there is still work to do. Relational work, meaning work, witnessing work. The good death is not the absence of intervention. It is intervention oriented toward the dignity of the person dying. He had specific advice. Ask the dying patient what they want their dying to be for. Some answer immediately. Some need help finding the answer. Some say there is nothing it is for, and that is itself the beginning of a conversation. Frankl was not trying to manufacture meaning where there was none. He was trying to make space for meaning to appear, in the form it would take for this particular person. He told a story about a man dying of cancer who said he was furious about his death because his children were still young and they needed him. Frankl said yes, and asked what kind of father he wanted his children to remember when they recalled how he had died. The man went quiet. He saw the question. He saw that the dying itself could still be a fatherly act. The way he met it would become part of who his children remembered him as. The fury did not go away. But the dying acquired a meaning the fury had been blocking. Frankl saw something similar with the very old. Patients who said they were ready to die often turned out, on examination, to have decided their lives were already over. They were not at peace. They had given up. The dying they thought they were ready for was a withdrawal from the life they had stopped engaging. The cure was not to fight the dying. The cure was to invite them back into engagement for whatever time remained. Many discovered that the time remaining held meanings they had not yet harvested. The dying, when it came, was different. It was a closing rather than a fleeing. He thought modern medicine, in its rush to extend life, had sometimes lost sight of the question of how to die well. Extending life is not always the same as serving life. Sometimes the patient is served better by being helped to die in a way that completes them. Sometimes the family is served better by witnessing a death that was met rather than merely endured. Sometimes the dying person is served better by being told the truth about their prognosis so they can do the inner work the truth makes possible. Frankl believed that the right to die well was as important as the right to medical care. The two are not in opposition. They overlap. A person dying with their pain controlled, their consciousness intact, their relationships present, their meaning located, that is the goal. Anything less is the medical failure of a specifically modern kind. He thought the existence of meaning at the moment of death was the strongest possible evidence for his entire theory of meaning. If meaning were merely a function of biology, It would extinguish before the body does. But Frankl had watched, with his own eyes, meaning intensifying as biology failed. He had seen patients who had lost their illusions, their possessions, their roles, their futures, and who were more present, more themselves, more recognizably human in the last hours than they had been for years. The meaning had not been in their possessions. The meaning had been in them. Stripped of everything else, the meaning shone. This is why Frankl could say without sentimentality that even dying can be a triumph. The triumph is not over death. Death is not defeated. The triumph is in the stance the person took. The stance is theirs forever. The dying ends. The having died well does not end. It becomes part of the permanent record of what a human being can be. It becomes, Frankl liked to say, the past that nothing can take away.